The will reading was supposed to be a formality. Grandmother had been dead 3 weeks. Everyone knew the script. House to mother, investments split between us kids, business to Thomas the heir. Groomed for it since birth. What nobody expected was the second envelope. Mr. Abernathy opened it with shaking hands. Inside, a handwritten letter and a stack of documents. This is highly irregular, but Eleanor's instructions were specific. Open only after her death. Only in front of everyone? My mother checked her watch. Just get on with it, Harold. He cleared his throat. To my beloved family, if you are reading this, I am gone, and my suspicions were correct. For 5 years, someone in this family has been stealing from me. Someone I trusted. Someone I loved. Silence. The thief is my grandson, Thomas. Thomas shot up, crimson-faced. This is insane. She was senile. She didn't know what she sit down. Steel in Mr. Abernathy's voice. There is more. I knew about the theft for years. But I said nothing, because I wanted to see what my family would do if anyone would stand up for me. If anyone would notice, if anyone would care. And don't I tend to sound. My mother went pale, my aunt was crying, and Thomas, my twin, was staring at me with pure hatred. Only one person noticed. Only one person cared. Elizabeth found the discrepancies 2 years ago. She confronted Thomas when he threatened her. She came to me with the truth. Every eye turned to me. Elizabeth could have exposed him, had him arrested. But she asked what I wanted. I told her justice, not courts. Truth. I wanted my family to know who Thomas really was. And I wanted Elizabeth to have what she deserves. Therefore, I leave my entire estate, approximately $8 million, to Elizabeth. The house, the investments, the business, everything. To my other grandchildren, nothing. Not because I don't love you. Because you didn't love me enough to notice when I was being robbed by one of your own. The room exploded. Mother screaming, cousins shouting, Thomas threatening to sue, to contest, to have me arrested for elder abuse. I sat perfectly still, hands folded, looked at my brother. You got exactly what you asked for, Thomas. You just didn't know you were asking for it. But I am getting ahead of myself. I was born 7 minutes after my twin brother. In my family's eyes, those 7 minutes made all the difference. Thomas was the heir, the firstborn, the future of Abernathy Furniture Luxury Stores my great-grandfather started in 1923. I was the spare, the daughter, expected to marry well, produce grandchildren, never accomplish anything. But grandmother Eleanor was different. She ran the business 30 years after her husband died, turned a regional chain national. Believed in hard work, merit, earning what you receive. Even she couldn't escape tradition. At 18, Thomas got a corner office, 6-figure salary, clear path to CEO. I got a trust fund payout at 30 and a suggestion to study something practical. Education. Nursing. In case you need to support yourself. I chose finance, graduated summa cum laude from Wharton. Built a hedge fund career without a single dollar of family money, and I watched. Thomas was everything they wanted. Charming, confident, effortlessly successful. Sailed through Abernathy Furniture, taking credit for projects he barely understood, delegating to subordinates he never learned the names of. Our father, never involved in our upbringing, suddenly became Thomas's biggest fan. Golf, sporting events, the future of the business in hushed, important tones. I was invited to none of it. Don't take it personally, Mother said. Your father just has more in common with Thomas, business, sports, men, things. I didn't take it personally. I took it as information. I watched how Thomas operated. Weekly lunches with grandmother. Thoughtful gifts charged to the company card, I later learned. Too busy for family obligations that bored him. building a reputation as a rising star without actually rising anywhere. And I watched Eleanor. She was in her 80s, sharp as a tack, still in the office 3 days a week, still reviewed financial statements personally, still knew every employee by name. But she was lonely. Husband gone 20 years, children absorbed in their own lives, friends dying off one by one. Thomas took advantage of that loneliness. Visited constantly, gifts, stories, promises of future visits, made her feel loved, important, needed, all the while stealing from her. I found out by accident 2 years ago, grandmother's birthday, one of the few events I still got invited to. A painting was missing from the hallway. Small Renoir had hung there as long as I could remember. Grandmother, what happened to the painting, the garden one? She looked confused. What painting, dear? The Renoir? It was right there. She turned to the empty space. Face went pale. I don't know. I didn't notice. Must be getting forgetful. Eleanor Abernathy was not forgetful. She was the sharpest person I knew. That night, I started digging. I'd had her account passwords for years just in case. What I found made me sick. 3 years. $200,000 withdrawn in ways that made no sense. Checks written to cash. Transfers to unknown accounts. Payments to consultants and contractors with zero documentation. Credit card charges for luxury items she'd never buy. Jewelry stores. Car payments for a vehicle she didn't own. Someone unknown was stealing from her. Someone close. Someone with access to her accounts and her trust. I knew who before I started investigating, but I needed proof. 6 months. I tracked every suspicious transaction, traced shell companies receiving the money, found the car, a BMW registered to Tiffany Marsh, Thomas's girlfriend. Found the jewelry, the art, furniture that disappeared from grandmother's house and reappeared in Thomas's apartment. Spreadsheets, bank records, photos, receipts. Then I confronted him. I know what you are doing. I know you've been stealing from grandmother. I have proof. Thomas didn't deny it, didn't even look surprised. Elizabeth, my dear sister, you always were the smart one. This isn't a joke. Hundreds of thousands of dollars from our grandmother, from the family. And what are you going to do about it? He leaned back, completely at ease. Go to police. Grandmother would be humiliated. Scandal would destroy the business. Dad would never forgive you. You don't think he'd be angrier at you? Thomas laughed. Dad thinks I walk on water. He'd believe anything I told him. Elizabeth's always been jealous. She is making this up to hurt him. You know how it goes. He was right. Absolutely right. Father would never believe me over Thomas. None of them would. So here is what is going to happen. You are going to forget you saw anything. Destroy your proof. Keep your mouth shut. Because if you don't, he stood, walked around the desk, right in my face. I'll tell everyone you are unstable, jealous, destructive, that you were never good enough to be part of this family. And they'll believe me, Elizabeth. They always do. I looked into my brother's eyes, saw something I'd never seen. Something empty, something cruel. Is that what you want? To destroy our family? To steal from the woman who raised us? I want what I deserve. And I am going to get it, with or without your help. I could have gone to police, told our parents, made a scene. But Thomas was right about one thing. It would have destroyed us. The scandal, the business, and grandmother proud, dignified, humiliated in her final years. So I made a different choice. I went to Eleanor, told her everything. Missing money, forged checks, stolen art, Thomas's threats. She listened in silence, hands folded, expression unreadable. When I finished, quiet for a long time. Then I know. You know. I've known for 2 years, Elizabeth. I am not a fool. I noticed the discrepancies, the missing paintings, that my grandson visits only when he wants something. Then why haven't you done anything? Grandmother smiled, a sad, tired smile. Because I wanted to see if anyone else would notice, if anyone would care enough to tell me the truth. She reached across the desk, took my hand. You are the only one, your mother too absorbed in her social calendar. Your father too blinded by pride in his heir. Your cousins only care about inheritance. But you saw, you cared, you came to me. What do you want to do? I can help you, I can. I know exactly what I want to do and I need your help to do it. 2 years. Grandmother and I prepared. She didn't confront Thomas, didn't cut him off, didn't change behavior in any way that might alert him. Instead, she let him keep stealing. Every dollar he takes is evidence. Every check he forges, every lie he tells, every piece of property he sells, it all goes in the file. What a file it was. Embezzlement, fraud, threats against me, 5 years of manipulation and theft. We also worked on her will. Original plan, business to Thomas, house to mother, equal investment shares to all grandchildren. Traditional, expected, safe. Grandmother wasn't interested in safe anymore. Thomas thinks he is entitled to everything, spent his whole life being told he is special, that he deserves to inherit the world. I want to show him entitlement isn't the same as earning. We rewrote everything. Trust giving me control of the business. House and investments transferred to structures Thomas couldn't touch. And we wrote the letter. The one that would be read after her death, exposing everything. Are you sure? I asked one day, reviewing documents. This will tear the family apart. The family is already torn apart, Elizabeth. Thomas saw to that. I am just making sure the pieces fall where they belong. She touched my face. You've always been the true heir, the brains, the work ethic, the integrity. Thomas has charm and confidence, cheap commodities. What you have is rare. Time the family recognized it. I cried then. First time since childhood, I cried in front of my grandmother. I won't let you down. I know you won't. You never have. The hardest part was pretending. 2 years of family dinners, listening to Thomas brag about successes, smiling when father praised him. Pretending I didn't know my brother was a thief and a fraud. I also had to protect grandmother. Thomas was getting bolder, more desperate. As her health declined, he moved faster, stole more, took bigger risks, trying to get everything before she died and accounts froze. I countered at every turn, moved money to accounts he couldn't access. Transferred valuable art and jewelry to secure storage. Hired security to monitor her house, prevent more disappearances. Thomas sensed something shifting. Didn't know what, didn't know I was the one doing it. You are different lately, he said one day, cornering me at a family function. More confident, less pathetic. Thanks, Thomas. Charming as ever, don't get cocky. Leaned in close, whispered, remember what I told you. One word from me, everyone thinks you are crazy. I remember, but things change, Thomas. People change. He laughed, not us. You'll always be the jealous little sister. I'll always be the one who matters. He walked away, laughing, completely unaware his empire was about to crumble. Grandmother died peacefully 3 weeks ago. 87. Final years exactly as she wanted, in control, with dignity, knowing justice would be served. The funeral was a spectacle. Thomas gave a eulogy that should have won an Oscar, sobbing, praising her generosity and love. painting himself the devoted grandson. I stood in the back, watched him perform, felt nothing but cold resolve. Afterward, everyone gathered at her house for the will reading. Parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, Thomas's girlfriend Tiffany. Mr. Abernathy arrived with 2 envelopes. First, the standard will. The one Thomas expected. The one that would make him wealthy. Second, Eleanor's true intentions. You know what happened next. The family splintered. Father refuses to speak to me. Convinced I manipulated grandmother into changing the will. Mother caught in the middle, loyalty to husband versus knowledge. I did nothing wrong. Thomas hired 3 lawyers to contest, claiming mental incompetence, undue influence, forged documents, spent tens of thousands on legal fees, money he doesn't have anymore, since his access to family funds was cut off. His case is weak. The will is ironclad. 3 doctors certified Eleanor's mental competence. Documentation of his theft is overwhelming. Mr. Abernathy testified she was clear-eyed and determined until the end. Thomas will lose. Only a matter of time. Meanwhile, I've taken control of Abernathy Furniture. Transition hasn't been easy. Employees loyal to Thomas. Board members questioning my authority. Competitors smelling blood. But I am winning them over one by one. Hard work, integrity. Same dedication that got me through Wharton built my Wall Street career. I am not my brother. I don't expect things handed to me. I earn them. Last week I visited Thomas. Small apartment across town. Funded by a loan from Mother One I am sure will never be repaid. He looked terrible. Thin, pale, charm completely gone. Looked like what he was, a con artist, finally caught. Why? He asked, not looking at me. Why did you do this to me? I didn't do anything to you, Thomas. You did it to yourself. You turned grandmother against me, poisoned her mind. If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for me, you would have stolen everything. Left her with nothing, destroyed the business. The name. I leaned forward, forced him to meet my eyes. You got exactly what you asked for, Thomas. You wanted to be the heir, wanted to inherit everything? Congratulations. You inherited the consequences of your actions. He stared, then looked away. Get out. I stood. Walked to the door, turned back. For what it is worth, I am sorry. I wish you'd been the brother I thought you were. He didn't respond. Don't know if he even heard me. Abernathy Furniture is thriving. Expanded into online sales, something Thomas never thought to do. 3 new locations. Increased wages and benefits. The family is slowly healing. Mother and I have lunch every week. Aunt started speaking to me again. Even Father thawed slightly, called last month to ask about business. Thomas is still fighting in court. His lawyers told him he has no chance. He won't give up. Can't. Admitting defeat means admitting he was wrong. That he stole, that he betrayed us. He'll never admit it. Not to himself. Not to anyone. I don't hate him. Don't even blame him anymore. Thomas was raised to believe he was special, that he deserved everything. That rules didn't apply to him. He was wrong, and he is learning that lesson the hard way. As for me, I am building something. A career, a legacy. A life I earned through hard work and integrity. Grandmother would be proud. And somewhere she is watching, smiling. You got exactly what you asked for, Thomas. And I got exactly what I earned.